Welcome to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, podcast for innovators, problem solvers, talking all things small business, entrepreneurship, and workforce development.
In this episode of The Vault at 201 North Broadway, we are joined by Lorene Hintz, Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center here at Big Sky Economic Development. She's here with us today to tell us a little bit about her journey with SBDC and to talk about all the great resources that the SBDC provides to entrepreneurs and small businesses. Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center provides free one-on-one counseling, business plan assistance, market research, financial projection assistance, and more to small businesses.
Lorene, thanks for joining us today. We want to dive right on in. And before you joined the world of the Small Business Development Center, you yourself were a small business owner. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, I bought a franchise back in the 80s. And that was a really good experience because when you buy a franchise, they have the business plan already written. They tell you how to run the store. They even tell you, it was a women's retail store. They even tell you where to put your clothes, how to move them around, how to colorize it, the sales plan. So it was a really good experience in learning how to run a small business because I'd never done that before. I'd worked in a clothing store, but I'd never run a clothing store before. So that was a really great step.
What made you want to get a clothing store? Like, what made you decide, I want to open this franchise? Because you were in, Northeast Montana, right? That you did this.
Yes.
Yes.
The franchise came up for sale, and I'd worked in a clothing store, and I really like clothes. And it would be like,
we all do, yes.
I could have all the clothes I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really good reason.
I think that's a great reason.
It's Lorene's closet.
What would you say was a big, difference, I guess is the word, between just working in a clothing store and then going into owning a clothing store?
Oh, the difference is you have to pay all the bills. So it's not quite as much fun because you have to hire employees, pay the bills. One of the things I didn't have to do with a franchise was purchase the clothing because that all was just shipped in. And so I didn't have a choice of what came in, and I liked most of it. It's really hard to sell things you don't really like, and so sometimes I kind of hid them, and that's not really a good idea. The things you don't like, you should put on the very front racks because that way people will buy them and then they're gone and you don't have to look at them anymore.
So owning a franchise, I think a lot of people, they go through that. They think about it. They're like, oh, I went to this store and this place and I'm going to bring it here. What would you say are some of the best things so that they kind of made those clothing choices for you and then some of the worst things about being a part of a franchise? And maybe not the worst is the right wording for it, but some of the things that you would have changed yourself.
You don't have any choice of what comes in. So maybe sometimes quality, but the franchise eventually went out of business. And so I didn't have a choice. I was purchasing my building. And so I just went to market and took out a $10,000 loan, went to market and bought some clothes and then had started gradually building up my inventory. That was really cool because then I had choice of what came in. And in a franchise, they buy a lot of clothing, and so they can have it at a lower price. When you're purchasing it yourself, it comes in at a higher price, and so your prices are higher. So I had to decide, am I going to try to compete with Walmart, which was 100 miles away, but you're still competing? Or am I going to be a boutique and have really cool stuff? And that's the direction I went, was a boutique with cool things and limited amounts of things so that you weren't flooding the market with whatever you purchased and were selling.
So how long, time span of that? So by the time you got the franchise and had that going, and then when that you made that switch, how long were you doing that retail section of your
career?
I was in business for 16 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Which
just
is
a
really
little
cool.
bit of experience.
Yeah.
Just a tiny, a tiny bit.
And as a small business owner, you learn to do everything, which is really fun. You're never bored. You do the marketing, you do the displays, you do your layout of your store, you go to market, you purchase your inventory, you do the books. It's just a lot of things that you're doing. You have to do markdowns. That's always hard. What do you sell out? How do you keep the cash flow going?
Mm-hmm. So did you ever have to outsource? And did you ever get to the point where you were able to maybe outsource some of the like financial things or things that maybe you didn't like as much? And I'm not saying you didn't like the financial stuff.
I like the financial stuff.
Yeah.
And the franchise showed you how to compare month to month, year to year, what your growth should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that experience for 7 years. So I just kind of kept that model in mind. Yeah.
For the businesses listening that are retail, clothing, boutique stores, what is some things that you would say, this is what you need to think about when you're going to market, when you're looking at inventory for your facility?
You need to look at who is your market, who are you buying for. You're not buying for yourself. I mean, yes, you want to buy for yourself, but you need to look, who are my customers? What are they going to be buying? What do they like? And then who are my customers? What size are they? What styles do they like? When I went to market, I would go and talk to each vendor, and because every season has certain colors that come up and are popular, and so you don't have choices on those because you're going to go with the popular colors, and you have to trust your sales reps that they're going to point you in the right direction. But when every vendor is going to have kind of the similar colors. So what I would do is I would go and write my order at each one and take pictures of what I bought. Then I'd go to my hotel room in the evening, lay those out and say which colors. I mean, I don't want everything the same. So which one am I going to choose? Which one am I going to throw out? I only have a budget of X amount of dollars. I can't buy all of it that I like. And so the other thing with your orders, you can have them come in monthly. And so don't have it all come in 1 month and then have nothing for several months. You want to stagger that coming in, styles coming in, so that you're always have a fresh look in your store.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to always, if you have wonderful things that are selling, you also want to be looking for something, a new brand, so that you can continue to bring in new brands and keep up with the market, keep up with the styles. I'm not sure I answered what the rest of that question was.
No, I think that's great.
I think you did great.
Yeah.
Think about who you're buying for and don't just buy for yourself. I think that can be one of the hardest things as being a retail shop owner. It's because you get jazzed about all these different products and you're like, oh my God, I would love this. So someone must love it too. And sometimes that's not the case. And so I think that's really great.
We mentioned earlier that your store that you owned was up in Northeast Montana, and a lot of Northeast Montana, and actually a lot of Montana, period, is very rural. So something I'm always curious about is what were some of the pros and cons of owning a business, and especially a retail store and a boutique in rural Montana?
Oh, man. You've got to draw customers from a big area in rural Montana because your town is small, 3,000 people. And then those people don't all want to look alike. So then they go out of town shopping. So how do you bring those other people in?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big challenge. So you've got to do some really good marketing. I think one of the biggest challenges that ended up happening to me was the internet sales. And everybody wants to shop online. They want it today or tomorrow. So if they come in and want you to order something, it's going to take a week or so, and they can get it tomorrow online. So I think with retailers right now, that's the biggest challenge is the internet is their competition, not even their neighbor.
Yeah, and the prices too, just that you can get online for something versus like what you can get in a store. And of course, you always want to shop local when you can, but it's like a trendy piece or something, right? It's like, do I want to spend $100 here, or can I just get it online for like $30 and
Yeah.
then I'm not wearing it forever. You know, I think the quality is different too online, but
Yeah, it is for sure. But you have to keep that in mind, and you have to still keep a really good attitude. You know,
Yeah.
people are going to shop out online. And so you have to like, okay, what can I do for them? And so customer service is really, really important. When somebody comes into your store, to be able to look at them, know their size. If they come in a repeat customer, know what their dislikes are, so that you can take them and show them, hey, this came in and I just purchased this and I was thinking of you when I bought it. And you know, those are the kind of personal touches that you can do for people.
yeah, which is cool in rural Montana too, where you probably know more of the people coming in and out of the store, even regionally, usually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads me to think, so you did the retail, and then what made you transition out of that, and what came next?
Well, my clientele, some of them were literally dying. They were the older people.
I shouldn't laugh.
That's terrible. We all kind of chuckled about it, but rest in peace, right?
Rest in peace. They were the older customers that were really, really loyal.
Yeah.
And they were just getting older, and they just, were literally leaving. And internet was coming in, and I did try to sell my store. But I just decided to make a business decision. I thought, I do not want to go out of business and leave debts and leave a bad name and a bad taste. And so I just made a business decision that it's like, you know what? I've had this long enough. I've tried to sell my store. My sales were not dropping yet, but it was a business decision. Okay, I'm just going to close my store.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a big going out of business sale, and literally had one box that I had to take to Goodwill. You had to just bite your tongue, drop your prices, and make as much money as you possibly could.
Yeah, and one box left isn't a lot of retail
that's pretty
store.
good,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. And then I had the opportunity, executive director at the economic development in Wolf Point, Linda Twitchell, came up to me one day and said, we've got a position over here that's open, and we would really like you to apply. And
How complimentary too
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. And so I applied for the job for the Small Business Development Center director. And lo and behold, I got it. And I was like, wow, this is great.
Like, this is, yeah.
I have so much to learn. And she said, you know what? There's a big learning curve, but I know you can do it. And so I have been doing that for quite a few years.
How many years now?
It's been 17 years.
17.
Ooh, lots of experience
Got
here at
lots
this
of
table.
experience. I get to learn from Lorene on a daily basis, and I'm very lucky.
I think we're all learning from Lorene on a daily
Oh,
basis.
yeah.
Exactly. So did you know, like when I came into this position, I didn't really know what economic development was, but did you kind of have an idea of like the SBDC, when you had your retail store, were you familiar with it, or?
Sad to say, no. No, it was right in my small town.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know what the SBDC was. So that was one of my biggest challenges when I came on board with the SBDC. I said, I'm going to visit all of the chambers in my region and tell them about the SBDC so that their businesses can take advantage of this great service that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I covered 7 counties and in rural Montana, and went to those chambers and continued to build a good relationship over the years that I was there. And it's so fun to work with small businesses because there's so many unique ones out there and great ideas and wonderful business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long were you with the SBDC in Wolf Point?
I was there for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then a position came open in Billings, and I was like, you know what? I'm ready for a challenge to go to a bigger city and work with bigger businesses and businesses to have the same challenges and problems wherever they are.
Yeah. And what are some of those common ones that you see people, from Wolf Point to Billings, some common things that you see those businesses having in both of those areas?
I think most people say, I got my business up and running, but now I just need people. How do you market this?
How do I get the word out is probably the thing we hear the most.
How do you get the word out? Yep.
Lorene, I want to circle back a little bit. You mentioned you wanted to visit all the chambers in your SBDC region when you were in Wolf Point. How many little towns was that?
Probably 7.
Okay. And then how big of a like radius was that?
Oh, let's see. The furthest one, 100 miles up to Plentywood. I also had Jordan.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So like
Circle,
a big area.
Yeah. Sydney, Glasgow. We were kind of in the center, so that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of chambers, lots of different ways that chambers are run in different towns.
Our Billings SBDC also serves 9 counties.
9 counties.
What is the radius of that? How far do you travel?
Oh, we go up to Harleton.
Yep. That's about 100 miles.
That's about 100 miles. Big Timber, Red Lodge.
Hardin, well, Crow. We cover Crow Agency, down to Crow Agency, up to Roundup.
I think that's something awesome about the Montana SBDC in particular is you have such a wide expanse of connections, and you help not just, so in Billings, we have a plethora of businesses, small businesses here, but you also get to go visit those little towns and, visit little stores like Lorene had in Wolf Point. So I just think that's super awesome that you guys serve not just the community you're in, but pretty much all of Montana for the most part.
Yeah, and, each community is a little bit different, and seeing the community come together in different ways, like their support is fun to see. But like a lot of people don't know, Harleton has so many manufacturers, and it's just a blimp, but you'd never think that they would have the amount of manufacturers that they do in that little town. But it's cool to go in and see what everyone's working on, and, the orders that they fulfill nationwide. And it's really cool.
So on that, we've been saying a lot of SBDC, Small Business Development Center, but Lorene, can you tell us a little bit for those listening, what is a Small Business Development Center? What's it made up of, and why do people come to SBDC?
Well, most of the time when people come to us, maybe they've been to the bank and they want to get a loan and the bank is like, well, where's your business plan? And do you have cash flow projections? And they're like, what? I don't know what that is. Or I've never done it before. And the business plan, they maybe think, oh, maybe I can write that. But cash flow projections, they just get a deer in the headlight. Look, it's like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm scared. And so that's one of the biggest things that we help with. We have business plan templates that we can help them put in your own words, and we'll review it for you, and we'll help you with it. We will not write it for you, but we can help you with it a lot.
Yeah.
Cash flow projections, we can, what that is really if you're starting a business, it's your best guess. So you need to do a lot of research to find out what are some expenses that you're going to have, and how much are real expenses for rent or utilities, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we always send out 3 lists that we need to gather in order to do cash flow projections. And that first list is your startup expenses. So is that equipment that you have to purchase? Is that a building that you're purchasing? Anything that is going to help you get off the ground. And then the second list would be your monthly expenses. And so that is like if you're going to pay rent, what is your insurance, what are you going to pay in wages, all those things. And then your third is your product or service. And so, what is that? And then how much are you going to charge for it? And then that helps us calculate out what your 3 years of projections will be. So those 3 lists are very important. And it takes it takes some time, but I think that's really good because then it really helps you understand exactly what you're getting into. I did the groundwork. I talked to a realtor. This is what, I should be looking at in rent and potentially some utilities. I talked to my insurance agent, and this is what my insurance is going to cost, So, it's just having those conversations with your advisor so you know exactly what you need to be searching for. But then, getting out there and actually asking the questions.
And you guys meet with them frequently, right? Once you have a client, you're there every step of the way as much as they need you, right? Not to do the work, but to guide and advise.
So we meet with them, and we don't say write your business plan and then we'll help you with financials. We say come in and let's walk through what are your product costs, and how many cups of coffee do you have to sell a day in order to meet your goal of what you've set for a yearly goal. Mm-hmm. And then when we walk through those things, our template that we use it's a tool. Once we put those numbers in, that doesn't mean that's what those numbers are. It helps us figure out how much of a loan you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you figure out if your business can absorb that much debt.
If your business is feasible, I mean, it generally is just a feasibility study,
Right.
Because we don't want you to get into anything that you're not going to be successful at. And so if the numbers don't work, we want you to understand and see that.
Yeah.
So do you have some businesses, hypothetically, or like that maybe come through and do all of this work that then don't go out and actually pursue their business?
Yeah, we like to say it's not a no, it's just not a right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and that is like maybe you need more money down before this makes more sense, because your business can absorb that kind of loan. But if you bring more money to the table, your business can absorb a loan like that. So,
And sometimes it's just like working your job and building up your credit, because your credit score isn't the right credit score. And so you can't get a loan without a good credit score. And so maybe you just need to work your job, pay your bills timely, build that credit score up, and it's going to be some maybe in your future.
What are some other resources that the SBDC offers? So they have the business advising that they get from the two of you, which is so cool. But I know you guys do lots of other things too. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those other resources?
Well, we've got one of the greatest training managers in the state.
I would agree.
And that is Kayla.
She's great.
And so she's the person who sets up our trainings and sets up the facilitators and does all the groundwork. And we had, I think 1 year during COVID, we did 70 trainings
in 1 year.
In 1 year.
Which is huge. Yeah.
we trained over 1,200 people.
Which
that
is
year.
amazing.
Yeah.
On top of, our client visits. So.
And virtually, mostly,
Virtually,
right?
yes.
You guys did a lot of those.
So now we're trying to make those more realistic, maybe like
You set the bar so high.
yeah, maybe 40,
I think this year our goal is under 30.
Yeah.
So
we do a startup roadmap every month, and that's for people who have never been in business, and we just want to give you a good background and a good basics of what you need to do to start your business.
Yeah, start thinking about some of the things that you should be as you're going along. We do a lot of other trainings too, and so when we talk about cash flow projections and building out business plans, we have the ability to sit with somebody and work through a value proposition. So what problem are you actually solving? What's your pain relievers that you have there? And Kevin Scharf, who runs the Rock 31 program, he facilitates that. So he would sit with anyone one-on-one and have that conversation with them. So there are resources for you to help with that as well. And then we just kind of look at what questions are we getting a lot from clients? What are we hearing from our resource partners that their clients and memberships need? And then we base that on. That's what we base our training schedule off of. And so, we learned a while ago that it's much better if people are actually wanting that kind of content versus us saying, hey, I think you need this kind of content. And so our trainings have, since switching our mindset to that, our trainings have been way more attended and I think much better received. And then we also found that peer-to-peer learning is much better. So instead of somebody who's an expert in that field coming and talking at you, maybe it's another entrepreneur that's teaching you what they do. And so because they're in the trenches with you, and so sometimes that's just a much better way of learning. And so just thinking through those things are why like our trainings are what they are. And we've been so well attended.
Good job, ladies. You guys do always have like such great trainings and things happening, which is exciting.
Yeah.
I think for the business community here, especially people looking to start a business.
We get excited about small businesses.
Yeah.
So what are like the top 5 things, or maybe there's more or less, that you do teach in a startup roadmap that are like, here are the things like that you should know or that you should start thinking about? We talked about cash flow projections and business plans. Are those like the top?
Part of that, but part of it is the steps to start your business. That's a big thing that we get calls on a lot. What are the steps to start my business? What do I need to do? And we created a great list and we put it on the Rock 31 website.
We'll link that for you guys later.
Yeah.
Yes, rock31.org/FAQ.
And you can go right there and you can find just the steps to start your business so that you can just do it quickly and efficiently And
Very cool.
yeah, we got tired of writing emails with all those steps.
Here's
in
the
it.
link. This is just go do these things.
Well, and then that link also includes recommendations for attorneys and accountants, and then you can see, the mentorship network that you could potentially have, and then the other events and resources that are available. So the rock31.org website is actually super handy for any entrepreneur or small business owner. And then we just recently found at our annual SBDC conference a new tool that makes registering your business with the Secretary of State, creating your articles of organization, and getting your EIN number so much easier and smoother through a one-step process, and it's actually much cheaper. And so, if you fit into that bubble, that's a great little resource for you, because a lot of people will go and they'll register their business with the Secretary of State, and then they go, "Well, that's what I'm done. I did it now." And ultimately,
no, there's more.
That's just you telling the state what you are. That's not actually creating your entity. And so,
they think if they register as LLC, it's already done.
Okay.
And they really haven't set up their LLC legally.
Yeah. So this one-stop shop helps clear up a lot of that confusion. So it's a really great partnership that we were able to bring in.
And then a mentorship network, which is huge.
Yeah.
Have you always had that in your time working here? Or did you guys create that?
Well, we created the mentorship through the Rock 31 program. We used to have what was called a BEAR program, business retention. And we had a group of people that we would go out and visit businesses and kind of help assess them, but it wasn't really a mentorship program. This is really robust mentorship program that people can have access to. And we just need to let them know that they can.
Yeah, and these mentors, I'm assuming, right, are people that are really, they know what the SBDC is and offers, and they're ready to help, right?
Yeah,
like
they're
willing,
entrepreneurs, small business owners. Yeah,
cool.
They're here local. They're ready to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you and work through some stuff. I mean, we work with IP attorneys and things like that. And just the other day, we sat down and asked some questions with Shane Coleman, and he's on there too, So, it's not just, a small business owner. We do have other resources for you, and that, could be accountants, it could be attorneys, it could be marketers, other entrepreneurs and small business owners that'll just sit down and have a conversation with you. A lot of people feel like being a small business owner is very lonely. And we're really trying to break that. You don't have to know it all. And that's a big thing that we talk to people about all the time is, just because you're starting a business doesn't mean you have to know everything about your business. And so getting people connected with other people that they can talk to that are like-minded, that have gone through it or are going through it currently, gives them that support, that network to know, like, hey, it's okay. You're not alone. Someone else is doing it too. Maybe you're not doing it how they're doing it, but maybe they like the way that you're doing it better than them, So you guys can learn from each other. And so that's really beneficial about the networking and the mentorship of it all.
I think that's a cool thing about smaller communities and small businesses, and not everyone is the same, but something I see a lot with the work that we do with Rock 31 and the SBDC and just economic development is they're not competing with each other. They want to uplift each other. And like I said, some of them are a little competitive, but I think it's really cool to see that, they're like, I went through that too. Let me help you overcome this thing. And it's like, we may be doing kind of similar things, but overall, like, we want each other to be successful,
Like a nice community.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Most business owners are willing to share what's the best thing I did and what's the worst thing I did. And, here's the thing to avoid so you don't.
I tried it already. It didn't work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lorene, what's the hardest part of this job that you're in?
Oh, my goodness. I love my job.
Which is great. We love to hear that.
The hardest part, sometimes meeting the goals that are set,
Which you guys just do so well at too. Every year you're you leap over your goals from last year just by miles.
We work hard at that. That doesn't just happen overnight that we meet our goals.
No, you should be so proud of yourself.
We have to work hard at that.
We just sent each other our dashboards yesterday. We're like, woo! We're almost there.
I would say the hard part is when you see a business owner that's really struggling and your heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
Because not everybody makes it.
Mm-hmm.
And hard things happen. We saw that over COVID. If you didn't pivot in just the right way, you might, your livelihood might be hindered or your dreams might be shattered.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really hard for us to watch that because we want to see success and we're cheerleaders, and
I love that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of your job? Now that we've asked you the hard question.
Oh,
I do like the cheerleader analogy.
yeah. I like the cheerleader.
We should get outfits.
Yeah. Switching outfits. Yeah.
And colors.
I really like the financials. I really enjoy working on the financials. So,
And Kayla said you're a wizard at that, so we can add a wizard hat.
well, I might be a wizard at, but I can't change the numbers to make everything happy.
Right, but how
Yeah.
great to know that you're passionate about that. And so when people come in and they're doing that with you, like you care about that and like you're passionate about that and helping them see the true numbers that will, that are helpful
Yeah.
to them.
I'm just trying to think about, all the different, we have so many different kind of businesses that come in. And so I really enjoy working with retail because I know it. I know retail so that makes it easy. So then we also have lots of restaurants come in. We have like the meat processing is coming in and
A lot of that.
yeah. And Kayla has some restaurant business background and she really loves animals. So
It makes it really
We do
hard for the meat processing, but
We do love the random baked goods left on
on
desks.
tables. Yeah.
I love those.
I was recently referred to as Ted Lasso. I don't know if anyone's watched that show, but he's just a very happy, positive gentleman, and he leaves biscuits on his boss's desk every day.
Oh. Well, Lorene, you might be getting biscuits or something more delicious.
I don't know who left the Spritz cookies upstairs today, but
You knew what they were.
Yes,
Yeah. I got them from Caramel Cookie Waffle. Because
Oh.
I stopped there this morning and I just got a dozen and it was like $3.50 for a dozen.
That's not bad at all.
No, but they were Spritz cookies. I love that you knew what they were.
I love them, and my Spritz cookie machine gun broke
Oh, no.
a couple years ago, so I haven't made them for a while.
So I need
think-
a new machine.
Yeah, I told my husband he could go out and buy one today and mix up Spritz cookies and make them, and he said, "Yeah, no."
You could at least go buy them so you could make them. Zest probably has one, I would
I
think.
think
Oh, I'm
Liberty and
sure.
Vine has them. Yeah.
Both
Delicious.
great places. Love them. We were just in Candy Town the other day, and gosh, that's also a
I do
dangerous
enjoy
place to
going
be in.
there. I like their the milkshakes.
Oh
They're-
yeah,
they're
I love their
so
milkshakes.
yummy.
If you go on Monday,
At the soda bar.
it's like half off because it's happy hour.
Kayla, don't tell me that. Like,
I'm just
where's
telling you.
Marcel?
Shout out to Candy Town,
Monday.
Liberty and Vine and Zest.
Yeah, it's all of our like yummy, delicious places to go to.
We just want to end with some rapid fire questions.
And we've loved having you. This has been such a fun conversation with you to learn more. Like we might have to have another one later, like a part 2 with Lorene.
I think Lorene should be a regular guest.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So do you want, I'll start on the rapid fire.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What's your go-to coffee order or tea if you're a tea person?
Oh, probably sugar-free, white chocolate, skim milk latte.
Ooh.
And if Lindsay's listening, she would be so proud of you. What's one of the best business tips you ever received?
Oh, if you want your cash flow to stay positive, go into your business and look at all the things that haven't been moving and put on a little sale. And you can pick up your cash flow in a week. You can straighten things out just by having a little sale and get rid of some of those slow movers.
That's awesome because
That's
not only
cool.
does it drag other people in for the sale, but they may see a different product that they like as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
I'm all
they came
about
in.
a sale.
I love a good sale.
Me too.
That's how you get me.
And lastly, Lorene, how do you start your day? What gets you going in the morning?
Oh, well, a cup of coffee, just plain black, a 3-mile walk, and checking my social media.
I love it. Just getting caught up on the day.
You go for a casual 5K every morning?
I do. Well, unless the weather's nasty.
Yeah.
Or icy.
Do you walk outside? Or do you have a treadmill?
I have a dreadmill that I don't like.
She said dreadmill.
Emphasis on the dreadmill.
I walk outside. I love to be outside.
To get
Fresh
some
air.
vitamin D, fresh air.
Yes.
Some daily movement.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, Lorene, thanks so much for hopping on in with us today and telling us about your story and journey. And
It's been so fun to have you
it's
and
been
hear
a
about
lot.
your story.
Thank you.
Yeah. And all of your expertise that you guys have and bring to the table. I think it's just such a valuable resource for people here in the community.
I would agree. I also am very fond
And
of learning.
region. Yes.
yeah, region.
Larger region, 9-county region.
Well, thank you for joining. You can find the resources and tools mentioned in today's episode at thevault@201.com. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and share with a friend.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, and community development.